Hello everyone, and a warm welcome to my webinar training, How to Recognise if you are experiencing a spiritual awakening and which step you've reached on your journey. My name is Sarah C. Langford. I am an intuitive healer and spiritual teacher, and I've been helping people to heal and feel happier, healthier and more powerfully connected to their true selves for over 20 years. So if you're like most people, your time is precious and you'll be wanting to jump straight into the webinar. I'm really excited and honoured to have the opportunity to share some beautiful wisdom with you right now, which I'm sure will empower you to feel better on so many levels. So let's begin. Do you have a strong yearning to connect to a deeper truth? Maybe you feel disconnected from yourself. It is really challenging feeling this kind of pain or emptiness, isn't it? You've done all the things society teaches us will make us happy, career, house, exercise, eating better, and so on. But when you wake up in the morning and think of all the chores and challenges ahead, you simply want to go back to sleep. What happened to your happiness and enthusiasm? When did you forget how to stop and breathe in the scent of a flower, or appreciate the sunset, or just notice all the good things that you have in your life and experience day to day? Sadly, so many of us have grown worn down and tired out by life. Or do you feel like you don't have control over your life? Maybe something feels like it's missing, but you're not sure what. Many of us have a sad sense in the pit of our stomach that says, oh, there must be more to life like this, or this is a good life. I have food to eat, I have good friends and a loving family. But we end up asking ourselves, if life is good, then why do I feel so bad? And let's face it, life can be hard when we feel like this, right? We have many challenging issues in our society and the world right now for us all. But for those of us who are sensitive, more open-hearted and who deeply feel the pain of the world, we really feel like we're being pulled through the ringer at the moment. Well, I'm here to tell you the reason why you are experiencing these intense emotions and deep desire for something better. If you can identify with any of these pains and frustrations, I have great news for you. I can practically guarantee you that you are on your spiritual awakening journey. Why is this such fantastic news? Because it means that you are not going mad and there is a powerful and profound way forward for you to move into greater happiness and wholeness. And even better than this, you can learn where you are on your journey, what the steps and stages involve, and most importantly, perhaps, there are things you can do to support yourself and bring greater ease to this process of awakening. You truly are beginning a beautiful journey into self-healing. During this presentation, you will discover a proven system for satisfying your strong yearning to connect with a deeper truth and for finding greater happiness in your life. Plus, you're also going to discover that there is something called a spiritual awakening journey, the triggers which kickstart this journey for most women, the 3 stages of a spiritual awakening journey, how all this will lead to some powerful self-healing. Do any of these sound familiar? Now, I used to feel my sense of emptiness and try to relax from a stressful day by having 2 or 3 glasses of wine every night. And I did that for years, and maybe you do this too. So I really understand what you're going through because I was using the wine to try and dull my aching emptiness. Do you have a secret envy of spiritually awakened women who are so grounded, confident, happy and fulfilled? These women seem to have tapped into something, but you don't quite understand what it is. I'll let you into a secret here too. I felt massive envy for those women who could connect with that world and that knowledge. They could channel, read cards, they seemed to possess awesome wisdom. And then, of course, I'd even feel ashamed and bad for feeling this envy. But guess what? On my spiritual awakening journey, I learned how our emotions are our guides. My envy was simply showing me what I wanted to do and how I deeply needed to live that spiritual life too. Are your shelves full of self-help or spiritual guidebooks? And although they're great books written by awesome authors, they have not translated into how you actually live your life. Or these. It's the same for all those YouTubers you subscribe to. You wonder how they get to this wisdom, but they leave you feeling inadequate because a lot of what they're talking about just sounds like jargon and code. So you have a fear that maybe you're missing the boat and they will never be able to help you understand, and you will never understand what they're talking about or feel like they do. Are you feeling that your life is somehow empty? And I bet you're craving a purpose or a new purpose. You've probably tried to solve these tricky feelings before. You know, you're a competent and intelligent woman, right? You know there are things you can do to help yourself to feel better, and you're probably trying some or all of them. Perhaps you eat clean and healthy in an attempt to lift the heavy feelings you're carrying. That new car, that holiday or new book is still not truly hitting the spot. They help you feel better for a while, sure, but you inevitably return to experiencing that weird emptiness or yearning. Or you simply have a deep interest and desire to learn more about the world in a deeper and more spiritual way, and are beginning to read about, use or play with crystals, tarot and essential oils, and all those other cool things which are in the shops right now. Are any of these things working? How much are they really hitting the spot and helping you to feel better? If you're like most women who are keen to help themselves to feel happier and healthier, you may not know what else you can do. But the problem is using spiritual tools such as crystals, meditation, and tarot cards will never heal your inner pain and satisfy your need to find deep connection with a greater power than yourself. Eating clean and healthy is awesome and absolutely supports our health and well-being, but this alone is not going to fulfill our deepest need to feel more connected with your spiritual nature or to be able to connect with your guides or angels. Going on wonderful holidays or chasing material possessions is powerfully sold to us as being the answer to all our needs. And when we have this dream lifestyle, all our pain and trauma will magically disappear. Do you believe this? None of these things will support that deep self-healing which you are desiring. Luckily, there's a new method you're about to discover to help you avoid all of these issues, and which, my lovelies, will finally support you connecting in a conscious and meaningful way to your spiritual awakening journey without feeling empty and disappointed afterwards. I absolutely love teaching this saying to my clients because it is really powerful, and it goes like this. Do you know what the definition of madness is? It's taking the same action over and over again and expecting a different result. So maybe it is really time to try something new. I have called it the awakening method. It's specifically designed to help you to get on track and confidently both understand and accept your spiritual awakening journey. To have that groundedness, confidence, and inner peace which you so admire in other women. To feel aligned with who you truly are, whole and joyful once again. To connect in a powerful and meaningful way to your intuition, your higher self, and spirit. Faster and easier than you thought possible. So this sounds really amazing, doesn't it? And in fact, I'd understand if you're a bit skeptical after hearing all of this. So, however, Do stick with me for a little while longer, because I'm about to unveil exactly how women are using my simple awakening method to firstly understand that they're not going mad, but are simply on their spiritual awakening journey, and then to learn how to develop a relationship with their true selves and to access self-healing in a whole new way. Now, before we get into the details of how you can do this and how you can achieve this, let me quickly introduce myself so you know why I'm someone to listen to about awakening to your spiritual self and doing it with confidence. So here I am. I've been working successfully with women on their spiritual and healing journeys for 20 years or more by helping them to self-heal and transform on mental, emotional, spiritual and physical levels. Teaching women how to self-heal from pain, emptiness, trauma, fear, sadness and more is a deeply powerful and humbling experience. It's a real honour for me to be part of their process in transforming their lives. Anything is possible, my friends. I also want to share with you a little of my personal healing journey because I really want to inspire you to believe in yourself and your own individual life and experiences. I naturally healed my breast cancer through diet and deep inner spiritual and emotional work. So I know how being on a courageous spiritual awakening and self-healing journey brings deep and empowering transformation on all levels. I am living proof. And if I can do it, so can you. During this time, I've developed this webinar, which is helping women easily access their spiritual awakening and empowerment too. And now I want to share it with you. So keep watching, because in the next few minutes, we're going to dive straight into how to recognize if you are experiencing a spiritual awakening and which step you have already reached on your journey. But before we go through the 3 steps I've put together for teaching you how to embark on your spiritual and healing journey, I just want to quickly explain something to you about why you are feeling so drawn to get this help from me. Firstly, spirituality is natural. We need to understand that a natural part of being a human being involves a deep need to feel connected with something greater than ourselves. Cultures and civilizations throughout millennia have incorporated this aspect really powerfully into their societies as a matter of primary importance. Secondly, consider how there is little to no regular and structured spiritual guidance and connection for us these days. The church, which used to fulfill this need, has fallen out of favour for many because maybe it feels out of alignment with modern life. Going to church is just not a regular part of most people's lives anymore. Neither do we have the community that we used to. And thirdly, there is a massive and profound call for many to awaken into our spiritual consciousness happening around the planet right now. Hundreds and thousands of ordinary people are feeling a deep and profound pull to connect with their spirituality like never before. The recent and continuing challenges our world is going through are calling to so many to find deeper meaning in their lives. So let's quickly overview the 3 steps that we are covering in today's webinar, through which I'm going to show you how to recognize if you're on your spiritual awakening journey. Woohoo! Step 1, the experiences which trigger people into their spiritual awakening journeys. Step 2, the 3 stages of this powerful journey. And step 3, the secret to easy and graceful self-healing. Do you want to know the best way to understand and then ease the pain and confusion you are feeling in your life? If you do, then first of all, you need to find out if you are on your spiritual awakening journey. If you are, then great, you will understand what you're going through. Once you know this, you can learn how to help yourself to feel better and make wise, aligned, and easier progress along your path. The problem. There are a range of emotions and experiences which you may be struggling with, but how do you know if you're on a spiritual awakening journey? Okay, so if you're like most women setting out on their spiritual journey, you might be experiencing anything from a range of emotions, experiences, and symptoms. Now, everyone is different and each life is unique, but let's face it, life is really tough. Nobody gets through life without a variety of challenges, pains, fears, and trauma, whatever they put up on their Facebook page. But there are a few emotions and experiences that we all resonate with, which can indicate that you are on your spiritual awakening journey. Now, I've put a nice calming picture up for you because I've got half a dozen points that I want to share with you. Okay. Number one, maybe you are craving purpose for a more meaningful life. What used to be important to you just does not have the same appeal anymore, especially things which could be considered surface or putting on a good face. Secondly, you are experiencing confusion about what is true or right. You're questioning so many things which you once thought to be correct or true. Maybe your worldview is shifting. Number three, when we begin our spiritual awakening, we begin to see a bigger picture. We develop a sense of wisdom because our lived life experiences come into play. Or number four, you crave your own company more than you used to. Perhaps these days, instead of wanting to socialise or have loud music on, you're finding that peace and quiet and your own company are so much more satisfying because you're able to connect with yourself better. Or perhaps you're experiencing number five. Maybe you desire a new authenticity in your life. Are you finding that you really need to live without some of the pretenses you used to accept? For example, you just can't spend time with that annoying friend any longer. Or number six, perhaps you're beginning increasingly to be drawn to connect with nature. Walking, going to the beach, or simply sitting in your garden have taken on a really pleasant quality. Somehow your soul feels touched and your pain is eased when you go outside. Remember, these signs of a spiritual awakening are not limited to these six, but in my experience, these are the six most common ones. Wow, that is quite a list, but in truth, there are many more. I just don't want to overwhelm you. You get my drift anyway. So, now I have given you a pretty thorough introduction to the spiritual awakening process. I hope you're beginning to feel excited. I guess that you will have had some pretty cool moments of realization and are keen to learn more. So let's now delve into some of the triggers of a spiritual awakening. And yes, indeed, there are a few well-defined triggers which often launch us into this new and maybe bewildering trajectory. Know your triggers. I just love sharing this information because so many women I've worked with over the years get a big aha moment, and I love those moments. And when their experience of all of these confusing or new thoughts, feelings, and emotions, they simply begin to make sense finally. Of course, again, we are all unique, and so we all have our unique journey, but have a listen and see if any of these common triggers resonate with you. So, a trigger into your spiritual awakening could be trauma or shock of any description. It could be the death of a loved one. Maybe meeting a teacher or a person who sparks your interest. Possibly meeting a soulmate. Or a serious illness or a near-death experience. Indeed, any major life change can be a trigger. Or finally, if none of those major things apply to you, you're purely answering your inner yearning, that inner calling, and following your interest and passion. Maybe this inner calling is sudden, or maybe it's been growing steadily for weeks or months or even years, and it may even have had to start really shouting at you in order for you to take notice. If any of these triggers are resonating with you, then it is a clear indication or confirmation that you are indeed on your spiritual awakening journey. So now you firstly know there is such a thing as a spiritual awakening, and secondly, what some of the triggers are which can propel you into this process, it's time to dive into what a spiritual awakening actually entails. Now, let me explain something to you. It is easy to get entangled with deep research and details with various parts and stages of the awakening process. But to me, some of it seems overly complex. And as a teacher of 30 years, oh my gosh, am I that old? I believe in simplifying the complex. So, in my view, we really only need to understand 3 primary phases, which I have called number 1, the end, stage 2, inner healing, and stage 3, shine. Sometimes less is more. So let's take a look at them in closer detail right now. Stage 1, the end. In this stage, you begin to leave behind your old ways of being and start to disassociate from your old life and habits. Maybe you start to question everything and you feel something is missing in your life. You try many ways to help yourself feel better, but nothing really works. This ending stage is actually the beginning of the end of your old self and your old life. So some find it very challenging indeed. Depending on how hard and deep you fall, it can also be termed as the dark night of the soul. There is a definite downward trajectory happening here as the old crumbles away. Indeed, it can sometimes feel like a huge shift and the ground beneath your feet begins to shake. Or, thankfully for many, it is a much, much gentler release of the old with a greater focus and happiness at the anticipation of bringing in the new. But you must understand here that nothing remains static. The only thing which stays the same in life is the certainty of change. And as humans, we deeply fear and resist change. My advice? Firstly, learn to let go of this resistance to change. Easier said than done, my lovelies. Secondly, release judgments about what is right and wrong. Again, easier said than done. And thirdly, learn to embrace the change. What does this stage mean? You're craving a purpose for a more meaningful life, and you will probably be feeling plenty of emotional pain. And here are some of the feelings and emotions that you may be experiencing. Again, it's a fairly long list, but not exclusive. So you could feel that your life has been a lie and you need to have more authenticity in your life. You could begin to search for answers to your inner pain and wish to shift and heal these wounds. You generally begin to listen to and follow your intuition more than you ever have before. Are you yearning to find a clear purpose or a vision? Teachers will begin to find you. You notice lots of synchronicities. This is where the magic begins, which is so exciting. Your worldview shifts. You're curious to learn new things, especially within the esoteric realms. So let's have a look at what it can look like. Waking up and realizing that things need to change. So let me give you an example of one of my clients who was going through the mill, and although she didn't know what was happening at the same time, she was in stage 1, of course. She came to me as a last resort. She was not consciously on her spiritual journey, but life was really tough and getting tougher for her all the time. Everything that could go wrong was going wrong. And her questions to me were, why is life so hard for me these days? And what mistakes am I making? So with the healing work we did together, she was able to clear a lot of old beliefs and ways of looking at life which were no longer serving her. She began to see that she was entering a new phase of her life in which so much of what had used to be meaningful to her was simply falling away. And finally, she understood she was awakening to many new possibilities which were opening up to her as she embraced the changes and shifted into her spiritual awakening journey. Have her challenges suddenly and magically disappeared or melted away? No, of course not. But she now understands more fully that she needs to let go of the past. She understands that her life needs to change in answer to her soul's calling, her awakening to the deeper meanings of her life. And through this process of awakening to her spiritual journey and going within to connect with her intuition and power, she's able to make new and wiser choices about her life. And she reported back to me that all her friends noticed how much lighter and happier she was, glowing even. And all this was despite still having many challenges to work with. The difference was that she understood this process of change and began to embrace the early stages of her journey. Initially, in stage 2, you will be casting around, trying out various things to find out what you do want or need, and importantly, also letting go of what you don't want. It is helpful here to understand that many things that were good or right for us in the past just simply are not right now. I call this releasing that which is no longer serving you. During this stage, many people investigate new hobbies which bring them peace or joy. It could be anything that's generally associated with health and healing. For example, art or getting out in nature, or even finding new friends who are different from your old friends. You might also become drawn to more spiritual things such as reading some angel books or buying crystals, maybe tarot cards or other new health and well-being classes, books and foods. But then, as you begin to delve deeper, you will start to find healers and teachers and may choose to have some healing sessions from one or many different alternative practitioners. As you begin to learn more and dig deeper, this is where the rubber really hits the road, my friends, and here is where you face and let go of a lot of your past pain. You really begin to learn who you truly are and develop a whole new set of concepts about the meaning of life, how the universe works, or what is important to you. And the truth is that this stage can take years as we let go of our old selves and begin to build a new way of living and experiencing life. I also believe that we never truly let go of this stage completely because there is always more to heal, learn, and create for ourselves. So what does this stage mean? Meeting your needs and letting go of all your old baggage. Areas which we all need to courageously face and work with when we truly get into the driving seat of our inner awakening and healing journeys might include, but are not limited to clearing of judgments, learning to love yourself, recognizing your self-sabotaging behaviors, looking at past childhood events and that are still keeping us small and trapped, healing traumas that are blocking you from connecting to the greatness of who you truly are, clearing negative belief patterns and habits, and much, much more. So, what it can look like when you are in stage 2. The inner healing stage. Okay, the power of change. At this point, I would love to inspire you and show you how stage 2, the inner healing, can change your life for the better. And the more I work with people, the more I realize that we are all the same. And there are so many beautiful stories of courage, breakthrough, and healing, which I love to share. Humans are amazing, creative, courageous, and resilient. And these success stories are the best way to inspire and show you that it really is possible for everyone to heal and grow when we set out on our own awakening paths. Now, I'm going to share a deeply personal story with you about the healing journey of my brother. This is because when you hear about my personal journeys, my desire is to help you know that you can do it too. We are all amazing beings, so much more powerful than we've been led to believe. And there is nothing more personal than our inner journeys into health and well-being on a physical, emotional, and spiritual level. As a teacher and a healer, I am all about honesty and integrity, so I'm setting out my vulnerability here for you guys to connect with. And here we are, me and my lovely brother. So I thought you might enjoy this story. He's a typical guy from Middle England, middle-aged, family of 3 kids, a professional, and he was happily living his life and not on any kind of spiritual journey, let me tell you. But a few months ago, he was told that a cyst in his brain had been growing quickly, and the doctor strongly advised a very risky surgery in which they would open up the top of his skull and try to drain or remove the cyst. And this surgery had a 30% possibility of brain damage. Yikes. Now, bearing in mind he had seen me heal an aggressive stage 3 breast cancer without any chemotherapy, he chose to put his trust in me and the process and power of inner healing. And much to the surprise of his consultant, he declined the surgery. You know, that one with a 30% chance of brain damage? And so together we rolled up our sleeves and dived into his healing journey, skipping stage 1 entirely, in actual fact. So we worked on many aspects, including self-esteem, healthy boundaries, learning to love and nurture himself, clearing past pain and trauma, which we all gather as life happens. We had many sessions of energy healing, and I also recommended other various holistic modalities. He took specific supplements and changed his diet quite considerably too. Now, I guess you already know that this story has a happy ending. After his recent brain scan, the consultant was delighted to announce that the cyst had stopped growing. He is no longer recommending risky surgery, and he has a regular checkup scan booked in for 12 months' time. And in the meantime, of course, we're going to keep working, and we both believe that we will absolutely reduce the cyst. Stage 3, shine. As you reach this final stage of the spiritual awakening journey, a whole new sense of confidence, wisdom, and peace will manifest in you. It will show in your body, your heart, and your emotions. Here you will join the ranks of those women you used to envy. You know, those ones who seem to have access to the secret of happiness, calmness, and confidence. I just absolutely love this stage. I deeply believe in it. I hope you can hear my passion. You will truly be able to shine your light clearly and brightly in this world, and all those around you will benefit enormously. In stage 3, the shine stage, we experience the joy and satisfaction of coming through and out the other side. Some people describe this as an emotional breakthrough, others as a spiritual breakthrough, and others still experience physical and mental breakthroughs. In this stage, you really dive deep into investigating and understanding different aspects of spirituality. all the while having the confidence to forge your own path, which is right for you. Here you will learn deep truths from many spiritual teachers. You will understand the universe and your place in it. Your intuitive skills and abilities will be honed if you practice meditation and wish to develop this aspect of yourself, of course. If you're drawn to, you will begin to work more closely with Source or Spirit or God. You might take courses and even become a healer or energy practitioner yourself. Many feel the power of the changing seasons and the moon, moving closer to Mother Earth. You will most likely feel calm, peaceful, empowered, and aligned with your higher self, and so much more. Finally, there is a deep draw and confidence to shine your light, to speak your truth, to bring love and kindness into the world and follow your true calling, whatever that may be. In short, a deep sense of self-actualization develops slowly but surely. It is truly a beautiful and a magical place to be. So here are 2 shining examples for stage 3. I have a great story of a client who originally came to work with me because she had various physical symptoms which she wanted to get help with. A couple of years later, through our inner healing work, she has awakened to her spiritual journey. And yes, she feels physically a lot better. But even more than that, she's going through the process of rearranging much of what was not working in her life, connecting to her spiritual aspects with confidence, and living a much more balanced life with a deep understanding of emotional intelligence as well. She is absolutely finding her power and happiness, and is a beautiful example of how, when we do this work, we can all shine our true light, live more authentically, and discover the best versions of ourselves. I've been on my spiritual awakening journey for many years. I took many detours and breaks from doing the inner work, but yay, here I am. And I can honestly say that I am happier, healthier, and more fulfilled than I ever thought possible. And I absolutely love the healing and spiritual teaching work that I do. I feel aligned, I feel on my path, and deeply honoured to be helping so many beautiful souls on their journeys now. In fact, I'm so passionate about what I do because I know how it feels to go through the process myself and what the rewards are for being a courageous adventurer on this path. And let me tell you, I did not used to feel like this. I used to really struggle and feel very, very low. Is my life a perfect living dream full only of cotton candy and cute cherubs? No, of course it isn't. I have all the challenges which life brings us. I mess up and I have times of deep emotional turmoil and pain. I am a human being and life is messy. But the difference for me now is that I know so much better how to work with both my internal and my external life. I'm less triggered and reactive, more creative and self-loving, and so much more, which is why I congratulate you for being drawn to this webinar and for listening through this far. It does take a special person to follow this powerful and wonderful path of awakening. Another profound truth I wish to share with you here is that of the universal law of attraction. So here is the best bit, my lovelies. As you feel better and better, we say that your vibration is rising. The law of attraction states that like attracts like. The exciting thing now is that this means that you stop being a magnet for all those old and challenging experiences you used to have, and instead you begin attracting people and experiences which match this happier and wiser self which you have become. Woohoo! Step 3, the secret to experiencing some beautiful and empowering self-healing. And so, my friends, now that you understand all about the power of your spiritual awakening journey, I want to teach you one more awesome and fundamental understanding about life, which is step 3 of my webinar today. Within this journey of awakening lies the path to some deep and powerful self-healing. I am an intuitive healer, but the beautiful and rich truth of this life is that you are your own healer. I always explain to my clients that I do not really do the healing. I'm a facilitator and a channel, a guide. My role is to show you the way lovingly, wisely, and with high integrity to become the best version of you. But I personally cannot change you for the better. That, dear ones, is between you and your higher self and the universe or source or God or whoever or whatever you identify as your place of power. When you understand that you are on a well-trodden path of spiritual awakening, you will also discover that self-healing becomes an integral part of your life should you choose to follow this path any further. So you're on a win-win, and I am so excited to share all of this with you because it is my deep and honest belief and knowing that we all deserve the best that life has to offer us. I'm just going to repeat that because so many people find that hard to accept. We all deserve the best that life has to offer us. The universe really, really, really wants you to shine and thrive, and you truly can when you step into your spiritual awakening. We all have the power to awaken. We all have the power to heal ourselves, to shine and to thrive. We truly, truly do. Now, as we are nearing the end of the presentation, and before we get into the incredible bonus gift I have for you that I know you're going to love, let's quickly recap the main steps we went over, because we've packed a whole lot of amazing teaching into such a short space of time. So firstly, you now know and understand all about your spiritual awakening journey, that there is such a thing and what it is. Secondly, you've learned what the triggers are that can launch you into your awakening journey. Thirdly, I've shared with you the 3 major stages called the end, the inner healing, and shine, along with some inspiring stories which I really hope have shown you that we are all able to awaken, connect with our inner beings or source, and also to heal on all levels. Woohoo! Wow! Let's just take a breath. Knowing what you know now, do you feel more confident about where you are in your own spiritual awakening journey? And so really, at this point, I hope that you've been able to reflect on your own life path a little and have a sense of where you are in your journey, and that you will go away with some truly valuable and profound learnings. Can you see yourself using what I showed you today to help you make sense of what is going on in your life? I truly hope so, because I'm deeply passionate about helping as many people as I can to heal, grow and shine. Even if you use just a tiny fraction of what I showed you, would you say our time has been well spent? So would you like to spend even more time together going even deeper and further on how to recognise if you're experiencing a spiritual awakening and where you are in your unique process? So far, again, we have covered a lot, and I've really enjoyed it because I love teaching and helping people learn about their spiritual awakening journey. I've only got an hour or so to share this entire process with you today. And this is a process that can literally help you find relief from so much confusion and anxiety about what is going on. I really tried to pack as much information as I could possibly do into this time that we had together. But now maybe your mind is working overtime and you're really rather wondering, wow, this makes so much sense. And I also guess that you're wondering what you can do next to make the most of all of this info. and so that you can really make some positive changes in your life.